Chapter 9, Text 6. Yathakasha sthito nityam vayu sarvatra go mahan tatha sarvani bhutani matsthaniti upadharaya. Understand that as the mighty wind blowing everywhere rests always in the sky, all created beings rest in me. 9.7. Sarva bhutani kanteya prakritim yanti mamikam kalpakshe punnas tani kalpa dau vishirjami aham. O son of Kunti, at the end of the millennium, all material manifestations enter into my nature, and at the beginning of another millennium, by my potency, I create them again. 9.8. Prakritim swam avastabhya vishirjami puna puna bhuta gramam imam shritnam avasam prakritir vashat. The whole cosmic order is under me. Under my will, it is automatically manifested again and again. And under my will, it is annihilated at the end. 9.9. Nacha mam tani karmani nibadnati dhananjaya udasina vad asinam ashaktam teshu karmashu. O Dhananjaya, all this work cannot bind me. I am ever detached from all these material activities, seated as though neutral. All right. So 9.6 to 9.9, Krishna is talking about universal creation and annihilation, and that's how the process works. And he's saying it is created and annihilated by my will. This is something that we have common with the Abrahamic religions, Christianity, Judaism, etc., where they say creation happens by the will of God. Just by God willing, creation starts. So in our case, not just creation, but also annihilation. And it's repeated. That's what Krishna is saying. It's not once, but it keeps happening over and over again. There's creation and annihilation. Whereas the difference that in the Abrahamic faith is they don't have that concept of repeated creation and annihilation. There, for them, it's Judgment Day. For us, Judgment Day is, somebody who has done not so pious activities goes to the court of Yamaraj, and there they get judged. So that's Judgment Day individually for different individuals, whereas for them it's kind of like a little different aspect. But the commonality is that by will there is creation and annihilation. Having said that, there is a schedule. Even though it's by will, there is a schedule, and that schedule is what? Anybody remembers? To how many years does creation annihilation happens? Anybody recalls?
311 trillion years.
Complete annihilation happens 311 trillion years. That is Lord Brahma's entire lifespan. When he dies, everything finishes. But every night of Brahma, there is partial annihilation. So I think the lower planetary systems get completely like flooded, burnt, whatever. And then again, there's partial creation happening. So like that every night of Brahma. So every 1000 yuga cycles, this happens. But then when Lord Brahma dies, 311 trillion years, 100 years of Lord Brahma, there is complete annihilation. The point is, Krishna is saying that even though all these things are so massive and so great, Krishna is not affected by any of that. He is out of it and he's not affected by it. So just like in a company, when a CEO fires people, there's reshuffling, there is all kinds of things. The CEO is not affected by it. It's just part of the company, and he doesn't even have to do it. It's the HR person who might just take care of all of those things, unless it's a startup. That is a different story. But so that's Krishna saying that, oh Dhananjaya, all this work cannot bind me. So it's not like Krishna is working day and night because it is a lot of work to manage the universes, not just one universe. I am ever detached from all these material activities, seated as though neutral. So what is an indication when Krishna says seated as though neutral? What is he referring to? What aspect of God is referred to neutrality?
Paramatma.
Paramatma, correct. So seated as a neutral. So he is neutrally managing all creation. So that aspect of him, the Paramatma aspect of him, which is smaller than the smallest within our heart, and also as Karandaksha Vishnu, who is managing the entire universe, is the soul of the universe in one sense. So, so neutral. So that personality that is within our heart or externally as Lord Vishnu within the universe, he's neutral and neutrally managing all of this. And both happens to be expansion of who?
Krishna himself.
Hmm?
Krishna himself. I mean, the expansions of Krishna.
Right, but Krishna expands to somebody who expands to them. So who's that person?
I think those four personalities are Pradyumna,
Before the four personalities expand.
Narayan.
Balaram.
Correct. Balaram. That's very important to understand. Balaram has a very special role. Balaram is managing, maintaining everything. So Balaram is also God. Krishna is also God. They're non-different, in fact. But in Balaram capacity, he is Anantasesh. He is always taking the burden of managing, sustaining, maintaining things. And the super soul, the Paramatma, that's also is expansion of Balaram, right? Mahavishnu also expansion of Balaram. So Balaram is managing all of that. Krishna, as a personality of Godhead, is playing the flute with Radharani and the gopis, and that's pretty much it. Enjoyment. So God always enjoys, and the other aspect of God, he's making sure everything is managed properly. All right, moving on. Can somebody read the next verse, please? 9.10. 9. Okay. Maya Dakshena Prakriti Tuyate Sacharam.
Bro, can I go?
Go ahead.
I'm audible for you.
Now you are.
Maya Dakshani Prakriti Suyati Characharam.
Hold on. There's like a lot of noise. Anant Prabhu. Anant Prabhu. I'm sorry, I'm having to mute you. Okay, I'm going to read that myself. If anybody else wants to read, feel free. Maya Dakshena Prakriti Suyate Sa Characharam Hetunanena Konteya Jagat Viparivartate. This material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction, O son of Kunti, producing all moving and non-moving beings. Under its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. Very important to understand this. Again, this is Krishna's divinity, right? His God aspect. That this material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction. Maya Dakshena Prakriti Suyate Sa Characharam. Chara Acharam. Moving and non-moving beings, right? Under its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. So things that are moving and not moving, moving as in the planets, not moving as in the mountains. Yeah, not moving, I hope. Mountains, most mountains don't move. So moving and non-moving, all of this is under Krishna's direct control. So that means if he wants to stop something from moving, he can. Like when Hiranyaksha took out the Earth planet from the orbit and took it down to the ambrosial ocean, uh, Varahadev came in, picked it up, and put it back in the orbit. So a lot of times things don't go as expected. There can be glitches in the system, and the Lord personally takes care of the glitches himself, right? But the point is, it is not that he is under the laws of things. Oh, law of gravity is universal law, and God works under it. No, God is beyond the laws of gravity. Law of gravity works under God. So all of these laws can be changed around. And as we know, as I was sharing some of the stories of Lord Chaitanya last week, that he can move things around as the personality of Godhead as he desires. He can do anything. And that's what he's sharing here. That this material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction. Now, the good news is, if material energy is working under Krishna's direction and we have material problems, guess what? Who do we go to? We go to Krishna. So if we have material problems, it's no point going to Maya Devi or Ganesha or Chandra or anybody else. Go to Krishna. He's saying it's under my direction that this material world works. You don't have too much time. You have time issues. Krishna, please help me with time management. You have issues with chanting Hare Krishna, getting distracted by Maya. Krishna, Maya is under your control. Please help me. So we can pray to Krishna like that. Now that he has said that in the Bhagavad Gita, we can now tell Krishna, my dear Krishna, you say it in the Bhagavad Gita, this is under your control. And you want me to chant Hare Krishna. So why aren't you helping me? Kindly help me if you so desire. Because tell Maya, to not cause trouble to my mind and distract me. So we can use Krishna's words to request Krishna to kindly help us, because he's saying material energy is one of my energies and it's working under my direction, right? So he's the supervisor and it's working under his direction, producing all moving and non-moving beings. All right, good. Next verse. Somebody wants to read, please, for God's sake, read 9:11.
Yes, Prabhu.
Go ahead.
I would like to read. Yes. Text 11. Ava jananti mam mudha manusim danam asritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheswaram. Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the supreme lord of all that be.
Okay, next verse.
Yes, text 12. Moghasa, Mogha, Karmano, Mogha, Gyane, Gyan, how do I?
Jnana Vichetashaha.
Yeah, yes. Gyana, Vichetasa, Rakshasam, Asurim, Chaiva, Prakritim, Mohinim, Srita. Those who are thus bewildered are attracted by demonic and atheistic views. In that deluded condition, their hopes for liberation, their fruitive activities, and their culture of knowledge are all defeated.
Perfect. Thank you, Prabhu.
Welcome.
So these two verses are very, very important. Avajananti mamudha manusham tanimasta. Manusham tanu, right? The body of a man, so human form. So fools deride me when I descend in human form. They do not know my transcendental nature, the supreme Lord of all that be. So a lot of times I've heard, even my relatives have said, oh, Krishna was just a great man. He was a politician. He just, did a lot of good stuff. So after thousands of years, what do you expect? It became a legend. And now we worship him as God. He's not God or anything. He was just a man who has not such a great character. And he was good at fighting and all. That's what Krishna's actually, he knows this, right? So 5,000 years ago, he's saying, people. So what does he say? Very, very tough words Krishna is using against such people. They're like, people who think of me that I have taken this human form, fools deride me. When I descend in the human form, they do not know my transcendental nature as a supreme Lord. Then next verse, he's saying, Those who are thus bewildered are attracted by demoniac and atheistic views. So such people don't see Krishna as God. So they're attracted by demoniac and atheistic views. So they're like, yeah, there is no God, right? In that deluded condition, in that atheistic deluded condition, their hopes for liberation and the fruitive activities, their culture of knowledge, all defeated, right? So it's a hopeless situation. So when one sees Krishna as just another human being who was just a great human being, a prince, a politician, or whatever else, that's it, over. That's what he's saying. So a lot of times people are of, oh, Krishna was just like us. No, we are like Krishna, right? So because Krishna has 2 hands, 2 legs, we are like that. We are made in the, just like in Christianity, it says that humans are made on the, what is it? Reflection of God, which is actually a Bhagavad Gita concept coming up shortly in chapter 15, I think, where we'll talk about the reflection of the banyan tree. So Krishna is like that. That's why we are like that. This shirt is like this because the body is like this. It's cut according to the body shape. So Krishna is saying that those who think of me as a human being, their atheistic condition, their hope for liberation completely defeated, culture, everything, all the things they're doing, it's all defeated. What does that mean, defeated? Defeated means they're doing all the things, maybe with good intentions or not, but it's not going to yield any results. At the time of death, it's not going to help them. That's what it leads to. Because when you don't understand who God is, and you think of him as just another human being, that's it. There is no way for them to get liberation. So those are thus bewildered, attracted by demoniac and atheistic views. So what are demoniac and atheistic views? Oh, dances with other people's wives. Oh, he can't be God. Oh, he is this and he is that, and all the things that so-called poets, many people have written poetry, and in those kind of atheistic ways depicted Krishna not as God, but as a so-called lover, as a so-called, women charmer, etc., etc. In that deluded condition, hopes for liberation, the fruit of activity, and culture of knowledge, all defeated. The deluded condition is not a normal condition. Deluded condition means people who are intoxicated, when they're too much drunk, what happens? They're deluded. They're not thinking straight. So it's not the right understanding of things they have, right? So that's what Krishna is referring to here. Any questions so far? These are quite straightforward things. So moving on. 9:13. Mahatmanasthu mam partha daivim prakritir ashrita bhajanti ananya manaso gyatva bhutadim avyayam. O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, Mahatma, are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the supreme personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. So very important. Now this is Krishna's talking about us devotees. So he's saying, oh son of Pritha, those are not deluded. And he's calling them those who are not deluded, as immediately he's making them Mahatma. So if you understand Krishna as God, in Krishna's eyes, you're a great person. You're a Mahatma. And once it doesn't understand it, guess what? Duratma or Mudha. Avajananti mam Mudha. Mudha means idiot, stupid. Right? So Prabhupada used to say rascal. So rascal is not necessarily a bad thing. It just means like dumb. Right? So those who don't have the knowledge, those who don't understand this, dumb, spiritually dumb. Not necessarily they are not scholarly or they're not intelligent. They might have great degrees, but spiritually they're really, really dumb. So that's the Mudha part. And those who are spiritually intelligent, they might not have material qualifications, not necessarily, but they might have spiritual qualification. Those who are not deluded, the great souls, they're under the protection of the divine nature. One time Lord Chaitanya was in Kurmakshetra, which is in southern part of India, and so where Kurma avatar had appeared. So Lord Chaitanya saw that there was this person who was reading the Bhagavad Gita upside down, and the local brahmanas used to make fun of him, like, ha ha ha, he's such an idiot, reads the Bhagavad Gita upside down. So Lord Chaitanya was curious. He walked up to the Kurma brahmana and asked him, my dear sir, what is it that you are, why is it that you're reading the Bhagavad Gita upside down? And why are you crying? Why do you have tears in your eyes? I don't understand it. And he said, my spiritual master, my guru, asked me to read the Bhagavad Gita every single day. But I am an illiterate man. I don't know how to read. So I'm following my spiritual master's instruction. All I can do is look at the Bhagavad Gita, the picture out on the outside of the book. So as you see this Kon Bhagavad Gita, there's Krishna on the battlefield in chariot, and Arjun, sitting on the passenger seat. So he was looking at that and he was saying, I don't know how to read. So I open the book every day and I try my best. But that picture on the outside of the Bhagavad Gita, that really makes me cry, because this is a Supreme Personality of Godhead taken up such a humble position for his dear devotee. How wonderful is Krishna? And Lord Chaitanya immediately embraced him and he said, you have understood the essence of Bhagavad Gita more than all these other Brahmanas. Even though you are illiterate, you have understood the essence of the personality of Godhead, right? So that's the divine protection. That is Lord Chaitanya's embrace. That is our divine protection. That one who understands the Bhagavad Tattva, the aspect of God, who God is, what is his purpose, why has he come to this planet, why does he keep coming back, what does he want from us? One who understands the Bhagavad Tattva, for such persons, Krishna is saying, they're great souls, they're Mahatmas, and they're under the protection of the divine nature. That means they're under his protection. Who are these people? They're fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when one understands Krishna as God, one doesn't have to go here and there looking for shelter. One has only one exclusive, inexhaustible shelter, right? That's it. Found the right personality. Now you don't, just like when the child is lost in a big place. Let's say you're having a mela in India. There are fairs, mela, right? So the child gets lost, and they announce in the microphone, so and so has lost her child. If a child knows, please come to the registration table or whatever, right? And the child will come running, and as soon as the child finds the mother, the child is happy. Mother or father, child embraces, and he's happy. So similarly, when we find Krishna, the search is over. We are finally happy. The real father, right? He says, I'm the seed-giving father. So as soon as we find Krishna, we don't have to worry about anything else, worshiping anybody else, any other duties. We have one person to focus on, and we dedicate our lives to that one person. So it becomes very, very easy. Rather than worshiping 33 million demigods, we have only one father, one shelter, one protector, one maintainer. That's it, right? One person, it's much easier to focus on than 33 million demigods. What to speak of 300 Facebook friends. All right. Clear? Any questions so far? If there are no questions, we'll keep going. 9:14. Somebody wants to read?
I can read.
Go ahead.
Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dhrud vrataha namasyantascha mam bhaktya nitya yukta upasate. Always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me, these great souls perpetually worship me with devotion.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. So again, Krishna is using Mam Bhaktya, my devotees, right? Great souls. He mentioned them in the last verse as Mahatma, and now he's saying Mam Bhaktya, my devotees. So what do? They offer their obeisance to Krishna. They serve him. So basically, whatever things we are learning to do. So they chant Krishna's glories, endeavoring with great determination, because great determination is required. Maya is always causing distraction. So determination is required. One is trying. Krishna is not happening. I'm not able to focus on my rounds, but I'm trying, my dear Krishna. Please empower me, right? Bowing down before Krishna, paying obeisances. Although it's a very simple act, to Krishna it means a lot. And he's calling such persons great souls, great devotees, right? That's all it takes to be called great in Krishna's eyes. Right? One might think Mahatma Gandhi, wow, freed the whole country. Lot of work to free a whole country. Not saying he did it alone, but point is, to be a Mahatma Gandhi is a big deal. But to be a Mahatma in the eyes of Krishna, which is far higher than being a Mahatma Gandhi, is so much easier. He's saying, paying obeisances to me, with determination trying to be my devotee, chanting my glories. I see them as Mahatma. Right? So Krishna is not very demanding. He's just wanting us to be his devotees. That's all. And as soon as we are his devotees, he sees us as great souls. Next verse. Any of the great souls wants to please read?
Yes, Prabhu. 9.15.
Thanks for acknowledging that you're a great soul.
Timing was great actually. Jnana yagnera chapi anya yajanto mam upasate ekatvena pritha tena bahuda visvato mukham. Others who engage in sacrifice by the cultivation of knowledge worship the Supreme Lord as the one without a second, as diverse in many and in the universal form.
Right. So Krishna is now describing various aspects of the Mahatma. So last three verses is describing what are the characteristics of a Mahatma. So when we see these characteristics, we can appreciate like, this is a great soul, right? So others who engage in sacrifice by the cultivation of knowledge, like we are doing. We are right now sacrificing what? Time, sacrificing some Netflix show, sacrificing some entertainment or a Friday night, right? To learn, cultivate knowledge about Krishna. So that's a form of worship. We are actually in the form of a worship right now. By studying the Bhagavad Gita, we are worshiping the Supreme Personality of Godhead with our intelligence. So worship the Supreme Lord as the one without a second, as diverse in many and the universal form. All right. Next verse. Yogesh Prabhu, want to read this one?
I will give it a try, Prabhu. Aham kartur yajnah sarvadha aham anusadanam mantroham aham evagnyam aham agnir aham hutam. But it is I who am the ritual, I the sacrifice, the offering of the ancestors, the healing herb, the transcendental chant. I am the butter and I am the fire and the offering.
Thank you, Prabhu. So again, Krishna, this is the most confidential knowledge chapter. Please understand. So Krishna is not having any inhibitions about talking about himself. He is being very, very open of talking about his divinity, right? So in other places, he was referring to like God, divine, and whatnot. Here, he's being very, very open because this is the most confidential chapter. So here, he is speaking without any censors, right? Because he's talking to his dear friend. He started the chapter by saying, because you're my friend and devotee, I'm going to share the most confidential knowledge with you. And that is what he is doing. He's mentioning that, but it is I who am the ritual, I the sacrifice, the offering to the ancestors, the healing herb, the transcendental chant. I am the butter and I am the fire and offering. That means he is the means and he is the end, right? So it is, so even to love Krishna, even that is Krishna himself. It's like in Bengali we say Ganga Jale Ganga Puja, which means which Ganga water we do Ganga worship. It's taking the water from Ganga and offering it to Ganga. So similarly, it's all Krishna only. We don't have anything. We have only one thing. Can anybody guess? What is it? One thing that we are offering? Because everything else is Krishna. Love, that we are offering to Krishna is Krishna. The ability to do the service, Krishna. The intelligence to do that service, Krishna. The determination coming from Krishna. Everything that Krishna has mentioned in this last few verses, all being empowered by Krishna. There's only one thing that is ours. What is that one thing?
Our efforts.
Correct. Our desire that, yes, I want to move in this direction. Our effort, our desire, right? And that's all it is. That's all it takes. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, one of our acharyas in the disciplic succession, he describes the bhakti process in the form of a market. So visualize a market, right? Where there are people who have come to buy things, and there are those who are selling the holy name, right? So he says, think of it like a marketplace, and there are the acharyas who are who are selling the holy name, and there are the common people who have come to buy the holy name, and the price to pay is eagerness. That's what Bhaktivinoda Thakur says. He said the price to pay is eagerness. So eagerness means enthusiasm, determination, right? So I really want it. That's all it is. How cool would it be if we just said, I really want that iPhone, and we could own the iPhone, or I really want that super hi-fi jet, or we could own the jet, right? We won't. We have to pay a lot of money for it. But if I say, I really want the holy name, that's the price to pay to get the holy name. I really want Krishna Prema. That's the price to pay to get Krishna Prema. I really want to see Krishna face to face, dance with him, hug him. That's the price to pay to dance with Krishna. So eagerness is the price to pay in the marketplace of holy name. And just to give you a little bit more, Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes his position in the marketplace. He says his position in the marketplace is a janitor with a broomstick. What is he doing? He's cleaning up all those fake people, the fake philosophies that are trying to sell to these same people with something else. Oh, give me money, I'll give you, Krishna Bhakti. Oh, give me this, give me followership, give me that, and give me that, right? So there are these people who are selling the fake stuff. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur is calling himself, I'm the janitor who's cleaning up all those fake things. So when Lord Chaitanya left this planet, a lot of the philosophy got into hodgepodge mode because the Ganga actually shifted its course, and it covered entire Mayapur that we see today. That Mayapur was under Ganga for 200 or so years. And then again, Ganga moved out of the way, and then we have Mayapur manifested. So what happened in those times, a lot of the things got lost materially as well as philosophically. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur very painstakingly found Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and all these books from libraries and whatnot. And then he re-established core teachings of Lord Chaitanya, core bhakti principles, and then he refuted all the fake philosophies. So what was happening was people, they're called Saki Beki. So men would dress up as women, and they would call, oh, I am a Saki. Oh, you're Krishna. And let's have, romantic relationship. And they would do all kinds of nonsense in the name of religion. And there were 13 main deviations at that time. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur cleaned all that up with proper philosophy, logic, and scriptural evidence, right? So he calls himself the janitor. His humility is, I'm the janitor cleaning up this mess of anybody who tries to sell the holy name for anything else but the eagerness. So the price to pay for Krishna Bhakti is eagerness, or just one's desire. That's it. If you desire it, Krishna will make it happen, because he is everything. He's saying, I am the ritual, I am the sacrifice, I am the offering to the ancestors, I am the healing herb and the transcendental chant. So the holy name is also Krishna. So the butter and the fire, they're also, so the offering is Krishna, the recipient is Krishna. Our role is just to want to offer, right? My dear Krishna, I am yours. Or, one of my inspirations, because my mentor loves to teach Ramayana, one of my inspirations is Lord Ramachandra's episode with Vibhishan. When Vibhishan left his brother Ravan and came to Lord Ramachandra and surrendered at his lotus feet, there is a place, I think it's called Dhanushkoti in Tamil Nadu. Am I right, Yogesh Prabhu? Is that the place where Vibhishan surrendered?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, that is good.
So in that place, it's a very beautiful place. And there Vibhishan came and fell at Lord Ramachandra's feet and said, make me one of yours. I'm surrendered at your lotus feet. You're my master. I have left my brother. So everybody else was like, can't be trusted. This is Ravana's brother. He's a demon and he is a spy. He has come here to find out what we are doing, all our techniques and strategies, and he's going to tell Ravana, So Lord Ramachandra heard everybody's opinions, and then he asked Hanuman. He said, Hanuman, what do you think? And Hanuman says, he seems genuine. And Lord Ramachandra says, yes, I want to make a promise in this place, Dhanushkoti, that anybody who surrenders unto me, no matter what their intention is, I don't care. The moment they surrender, they are mine, and I'm here to protect them and maintain them and sustain them. That's my responsibility. So it inspires me a lot. So I fall at Lord Ramachandra's feet every night, and I just say, my dear Lord, I am surrendered at your lotus feet. If you so desire, you can maintain me, sustain me as you see fit. Right? Because he has promised whoever surrenders at his lotus feet, he will take care of them. So and unless we surrender, he cannot take care of us, right? Because if we don't surrender, we are like, let me try this and try that and try this and try that. And we have 10 other possibilities. So if you come to a doctor and say, please help me, the doctor has to cut you open and fix you. But if you say, oh, wait, let me do some doctoring myself. Let me go on Google and find out this. Oh, let me try this drug and this medicine and this. The doctor is like, I'm waiting. When are you going to come to me? When you come to me, I can take care of you. So similarly, when we surrender exclusively to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, that's it. From there on, he takes care of us in his own sweet way. Doesn't mean it's passive, it's active from both sides. We are also putting our effort, desire. Krishna is putting his effort, and he's changing around things in the material world. Like he said, it's all under his control. So time, who we meet, our work, our finances, everything else, he manifests everything in such a way that it eases our path back to his lotus feet. Any questions so far? Okay. 9.17.
I would like to give it a try, Prabhu.
Go ahead.
Pitahamasya jagato mata dhata pitamaha vedam pavitram omkara rik sama yajurevacha. I am the father of the universe, the mother, the support, and the grandsire. I am the object of knowledge, the purifier, and the syllable Om. I am also the Rik, the Sama, and the Yajur Vedas.
Amazing. Thank you, Prabhu. So there you go. Spoken. Krishna is the mother and father and the grandsire. Why does he say grandsire? Let me can explain that. Because Lord Brahma is supposed to be the father of the universe. But Brahma's father is Krishna. So even Srimad Bhagavatam starts with Brahma, Brahma Avaridaya Kaval. I forget, I'm not saying it right. But basically it starts from Lord Brahma. So Lord Brahma hears the Gayatri Mantra from Lord Krishna, and the whole Vedic knowledge is downloaded onto Lord Brahma, and then he starts. So he refers to Lord Krishna as his father. So our father is Lord Brahma because we have all been created by Lord Brahma, and his father is Krishna. But in one sense, Krishna is all our father, if we look at it. So he says, I'm the father and the mother, and I'm also the grandsire, right? So I'm also Brahma's father who has created all of you, right? So that's how he's referring to. So I'm the father of this universe, the mother, the support, and the grandsire. I'm the object of knowledge. The Vedyascha Sarvar Aham Evya Vedya. Of all the Vedas, I am to be known, right? He says it shortly. So I'm the object of knowledge. No, he said that already, I think. 15. It's coming up maybe. Sorry. I am the object of knowledge, the purifier and the syllable Om. So Omkar. Pavitram Vedyam Pavitram Omkar. So every mantra starts with Om. Right? Any Vedic mantra, it starts with Om. So one can be impersonalist, one can be a demigod worshipper, one can be whatever. But they start with Om. And that is acknowledgement of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's saying, I am the syllable Om. He later on also says in chapter 10 that I am, of all the sounds, I am Omkara, right? So that's the personality of Godhead. So again, this is the most confidential chapter. So he's being very, very fluid about his personality, that I'm the father of this universe, I'm the mother, I'm the support, I'm the grandsire, I am the object of knowledge, the purifier and syllable Om, and I am also the Vedas. So he is the knowledge. Why is he saying all this? What's the purpose? Why is Krishna is talking like this?
Because Arjuna asked him for guidance. I mean,
How is it helping Arjuna or anybody?
for him to get the bigger picture so that he can perform his duty.
Okay. Anybody else want to share anything? Janak Prabhu, nice to see you here.
Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it is so that we can remember Lord Krishna in different forms, and we can remember him whenever we see Omkara, whenever we hear Om, for example.
True. And also when we are surrendering to Krishna, when we understand he is everything and everything is under his control, it becomes a little easier to surrender and just be like, Krishna, I saw all your energy anyway. Kindly help me out. Please, I beg you. So he's revealing the secrets. This is confidential chapters. He's revealing the secret. It's kind of like today, so I'm guest faculty at a few universities, as you all know. So I was giving my class today and somebody asked me, sir, what's coming in the exam next week? And I was like, I don't know. I didn't set the paper. Somebody else did. I told them what to do, but I don't have the time to set papers at all. I'm not that kind of a faculty. I just teach and move on. So, but the point is, they were trying to get some hints from me, right? So similarly, now if I had set the paper, I would have given some hints. So here Krishna is doing the same thing. I have the answer paper. And in confidential chapter, I'm telling you all the secrets. So you know. So when you're praying to me, you know that I have all the answers. And yes, you're right. I will help you out. That's the whole idea. That I'm the father, I'm the mother, I'm the support, I'm the grandsire, I'm the object of knowledge, I'm the knowledge itself. So if you're having issues understanding the Bhagavad Gita, just pray to Krishna. He'll only help you get realizations. My dear Krishna, I'm not understanding this. Please help me. And boom, you'll hear some lecture. You'll hear somebody say something and like, that's how it works. It happened to me once. So my spiritual master was giving a lecture during Festival of Holy Name. And he talked about this pastime where Srimati Radharani and Krishna are on the swing. And Radharani gets a little scared because Krishna starts pushing the swing a little too fast. And she holds on to Krishna tightly, and Krishna likes it. So Krishna makes the swing go faster and more amplitude, So Radharani holds on to Krishna even tighter. And Krishna likes it even more. And they do this for a little bit of time. They're enjoying themselves. Radharani feels very happy, sheltered by Krishna. Krishna feels very happy being able to shelter Srimati Radharani. And then Radharani says, okay, enough. I'll get off. Now she invites all the gopis to get on the swing and enjoy with Krishna. And I found that extremely beyond kind of conclusion. It's like, I'm like, how is it that somebody who loves Krishna so well, we were studying the nectar of devotion, and you understand Srimati Radharani, of course. We don't understand, but at least you can appreciate how much Srimati Radharani loves Krishna. And such a loving person can invite other girls, because love means generally exclusive. Even Krishna is talking in Bhagavad Gita, exclusive love, only me, nobody else. But then Srimati Radharani is inviting all the other gopis. You also get on the swing with Krishna and swing with Krishna. Like, I didn't understand it. So for a few days, almost a week, I was praying to Krishna. I was like, Krishna, help me understand this. I don't get it. This is beyond my perception. What is she doing? Why would she do that? I don't get it. Please help me out. And it's funny. I was looking for answers everywhere, all lectures, everywhere. My mind was attuned to that aspect of understanding this particular concept. And then again, there was another lecture. And in that lecture, I had this aha moment, something I heard, and this part of this brain kind of unlocked. And I was like, I get it now. And I ran up to my mentor and said, Prabhuji, this is my realization. Is this correct? He's like, yes, that is exactly right. So my realization was, then when we go through difficult situations, we call out to Krishna. Krishna, please help. And Krishna really likes it. So he makes the difficulties sometimes a little bit more, you know, so the swing goes a little further. And we're like, Krishna, please. And we take more shelter of Krishna. Krishna is like liking it even more. Right? It's like, is that it? It's like, yes. So if you see it as a difficult situation, you're focusing on the situation. If you see it as Krishna and your interaction in that situation, it's actually you two are very connected that you generally aren't. You're thinking about Krishna more and you're holding on to Krishna more tightly, right? So if you see it, it's actually a very sweet, loving relationship in a very, very difficult situation. Like, I get it now. And Srimati Radharani getting off the swing and inviting other girls on board is the mood of preaching. That, oh, wow, I've experienced this amazing Krishna consciousness. I want others to also experience that joy of holding on to Krishna and experiencing, this relationship with the most beautiful, powerful, loving, supreme personality of Godhead, right? The point is, it was so wonderful to just be absorbed, trying to understand this and meditating on it. And because Krishna is all knowledge, somehow he managed to, he gave me some glimpse and I was like, I get it now. So that's the beauty of knowing these things from chapter 9, the confidential knowledge, that you know where to go to, where the answer is. It's Krishna. He has all the answers. Now, he's not going to directly, might not say it, but he will say it through his devotees. So he'll make the arrangement such that we can hear the right thing at the right time, we are at the right place, and boom, life changes, right? Any questions so far? Okay. We'll move on. (919). Who's the next great soul who wants to read this? Any of the women wants to read? Rodoshi Mataji or Chandrima? Rajrupa? Somebody unmuted. I just don't see who it was.
May I?
Go ahead, Janak Prabhu.
Sorry, Prabhu, can you bring it up again? Or I?
Yeah, sure. Here we go.
Tapamyaham varsham nigruhmyo srajami cha amritam che mrityuscha sadaschaham Arjuna. O Arjun, I give heat, and I withhold and send forth the rain. I am immortality, and I am also death personified. Both spirit and matter are in me.
Can you read the next verse also, Prabhu?
Yeah, Prabhu. Trevidya ma somapa put papa yagyeri yashtava swargitim prarthayante te punya masadya surendra loka mashanti divyani deva bhogana. Those who study the Vedas and drink the Soma juice, seeking the heavenly planets, worship me indirectly. Purified of sinful reactions, they take birth on the pious heavenly planet of Indra, where they enjoy godly delights. Te tam bhuktva swargalokam vishalam क्षीणे पुण्ये मर्त्य लोकम विशन्ति एवं त्रयी धर्म मनु प्रपन्ना गतागतम काम कामा labhante. When they have thus enjoyed vast heavenly sense pleasure and the results of their pious activities are exhausted, they return to this mortal planet again. Thus, those who seek sense enjoyment by adhering to the principles of the three Vedas achieve only repeated birth and death.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Okay, so let me quickly see. Arjuna, oh Arjuna, I give heat and I okay, let me share the screen. Oh Arjuna, I give heat and I withhold and send forth the rain. I am immortality, and I am also death personified. Both spirit and matter are in me. Right? So Krishna says this in chapter 10 also, Aham Sarvasya Prabhaho, everything comes from me. So matter and spirit, Krishna is the source of both. So Krishna, basically, I give heat, I withhold and send forth rain. What is he referring to? Yagyas, right? So in chapter 3, we learned that to do yogya, what do you need? For the rains to come, there have to be grains that have to be put into yagya. And from the yagya, rain comes. From rain, grains come. Again, those grains we put in the yagya. So like that, that cycle process continues. So Krishna is saying, I'm all of that. But there are some who desire heavenly realms. They do the yagya to attain heavenly realm, to drink somaras, which is a alcoholic beverage of the highest order, apparently, and enjoy heavenly damsels and heavenly happiness up there. But it's temporary, Krishna is saying, and they have to come back again and suffer again in this world. So we all know this, but this is the Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna is defining every aspect of it. So he's saying that, O Arjuna, I give heat and I withhold and send forth the rain. I'm immortality and I'm also death personified, right? So whether you like Krishna or not, at the time of death, one has to meet him face to face. He's both spirit and matter are in me. Both come from Krishna. Para Prakriti and Apara Prakriti. Those who study the Vedas and drink the Soma juice, seeking heavenly planets, worship me indirectly. So demigod worship is not a bad thing. It is just indirect. And Krishna is suggesting that directly worship me. Come to my abode, that is Goloka, not heaven, not Swarga. Purified of sinful reactions, they take birth on pious heavenly planet of Indra. So it does take one to actually be pious to be on the heavenly realm. It's not a garbage place. It's a very great place to be, where they have, they enjoy godly delights. It is a very, very happy place to be. Jana Loka, Tapaloka, Mahar Loka, etc. Wonderful places to be, right? When they have enjoyed vast heavenly sense pleasure and the results of their pious activities are exhausted, so it's temporary, right? So visa expired, they return to the mortal planet again. Thus, those who seek sense enjoyment by adhering to the principles of the three Vedas enjoy only repeated birth and death. So samsara is, it's like the Ferris wheel. In Bengali we say Nagardola. It goes in circles, right? You go up heavenly planets, come down to Bhuloka, go down to Patal Loka, go up to Bhumandala, again heavenly planets, like that, keep going up and down. Or it could be just down, 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 up, Bhumandala, Narak, up, or heaven, down. So either way, any of the permutations and combinations. But the point is, people are just suffering in this material world, in the temporariness of things, and hoping, they'll find happiness. They don't. Whereas there is unlimited happiness that Krishna is inviting us to. So why is he telling us all this? Because the Vedas, almost 90% of the Vedas is dedicated to talking about heavens and how awesome heavens are, and how you can do all these sacrifices to get great body, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, all of that. So constantly the Vedas are glorifying it. That's why Narad Muni chastised Vyasadeva. After Vyasa finished writing all the Vedas, or compiling all the Vedas, not writing, Narad Muni, Vyasadeva goes into meditation. It's like he's not feeling satisfaction. It's like, I'm feeling something is missing, something is missing. And Narad Muni comes and says, of course something is missing. What have you done? You've just created, all these Vedas, all this flowery language leading to the heavens. You have not glorified the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unabashed in his purest form. Unless you do that, what have you done? You've just led people to more suffering. And then Vyasadeva actually starts compiling the Srimad Bhagavatam. And that is, it starts with that, okay, there is no cheating religion here. It is going to be unabashed glorification of Vasudeva. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. That's where it starts. And it's like, this is going to be only about Krishna and his glorification. And that's about it. You want anything else, go to the other Vedic scriptures. But if you want pure bhakti, Srimad Bhagavatam is the book to study, right? It starts with that. And that's why, because Vyasadeva had written this entire Vedas is all about heaven, 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 all the good things about heaven, all about demigods, the damsels, the Somarasa, like everything is about that. But there is this little piece that's about going back to Krishna. And that's thankfully, I shouldn't say it like this, thankfully. Let's put it this way. With all the foreign invasion, a lot of the Vedic aspects are gone, right? So there is not much distraction for us. Thankfully, this part is not gone. Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita is not gone. This aspect of the Vedic aspect, which is the most purest bhakti format, that is there. And if we study this, we are sure shot going back home, back to Krishna. That is all we need in Kali Yuga. We don't have time to study all the scriptures anyway. It would take lifetimes. We don't live more than 60, 70 years anyway. So in that period, 18,000 verses of Srimad Bhagavatam is enough. And if we can understand even one verse, that is, Prabhupada said, even one book, one page, one word, one understands, one will come back to Krishna. No problem. He was actually referring to the Krishna book, which is 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where all of Krishna's pastimes from his appearance on this planet to his disappearance are described. And Srila Prabhupada on a Janmashtami evening, if I remember correctly, he was sharing that if anybody who reads this book is going to go back to Godhead. Then he says, why this book? Just one chapter is enough. And he says, why one chapter? One page is enough. One word is enough. Just open this book and read it, and one will go back to God. Even one understands who Krishna is, right? Because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma me divyam yo janati tattvataha. The tattva of Janma and karma, Krishna's appearance and activities on this planet, one who understands it, such a person is qualified to go back home, back to Godhead. And he also describes it. What is Krishna's appearance for? Anybody remembers from chapter 4? Why does Krishna come on this planet? Paritranaya sadhunam. Yes.
Yada yada.
Right. Yes, Krishna keeps coming. Yoga yuga to paritranaya sadhunam vinasha duskritam. To uplift the sadhus and to destroy the miscreants. That's his purpose. So once one understands why Krishna is here, what is Krishna's purpose, one falls in love with Krishna. And when you fall in love with Krishna, you cannot be in this material realm. You feel attracted to go to where Krishna is. And that's our goal. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Hare Krishna and have a good night, everyone.
Hare Krishna.